Welcome everyone to Raving 101. In just a few short days, you're all about to attend your first rave until you realize you have no idea what to expect. You have decided to sign up for a crash course on raving led by our next speaker, Sarah. Sarah is an experienced raver and instructor on the 101 guidelines of raves. She has personally instructed and brought numerous students to their first rave. You will learn about the culture of raves and how to prepare for that fantastic night. This class is only 5 to 8 minutes long. So be ready to take notes and pay attention. Help me in welcoming our instructor, Raving 101 Guidelines for the First Time Ravers. Please welcome Sarah.
Good morning, students, and welcome to Raving 101. This is a crash course created for first-time ravers to help you prepare for your first rave. Raves are a magical event where people from all across the world come together for one night to share a love for EDM, electric dance music. My job here today is to educate you on some basic information about electronic music so you actually know what's going on and what people are talking about. And my second purpose is to help you dress for the occasion. Raves have become more than a music event. They are a culture with their own set of customs and rules. I will help you to prepare and make sure you stand out in the right way. So the first step to fitting in at a rave is to understand the music that you are listening to. When you hear the word electronic music, I bet you all are thinking of something different. And that's because there are tons of variations of electronic music. I'm going to go over 3 genres that you most likely will hear at the rave. The first, you might know, is dubstep. Dubstep is known for its heavy drops in music. It's darker with heavy vocal remixes with a much slower beat or drum. One famous dubstep artist you might have heard of is Skrillex, and he did the song Scary Monsters and Nice Spirits. And I'll play a quick sample for you. So it's a little bit scratchier than most music. The vocals are heavily remixed to the point where you can almost barely understand them. And then you'll hear that drop. So that slower bass line is what we call drops in dubstep music. That's one sample. The next genre is my personal favorite. It's called hardstyle. Hardstyle is a hard-sounding kick drum with an intense bass line, usually very fast. Again, it's accompanied by vocals, and again, the vocals are very distorted. One famous hardstyle artist is called Showtek, and again, they're my favorite band. And here's another sample. So you can hear this is a much faster bass line than the dubstep one. It's very fast. It's very distorted. The vocals, very fast. I have a hard time understanding most of the vocals for this genre. I like it. I think it's the best workout music ever. The next genre is probably the most popular genre that you'll hear at the rave, and it's called house music. House music is the typical dance music that you will hear if you went to clubs. This genre is very repetitive with synchronized bass lines. This genre definitely has vocals that are easier to understand. It's known to have a more melodic tune. It's how I describe it. It's the type of music that you can walk away humming to. One of the biggest DJs in this genre is known as Tiesto. And here's one of his songs. So slower bass line, easier to go with it, not as fast as the other one. And they typically do actually have a chorus with different verses to the song. Much easier to understand. And that's a different style altogether. So now you should have a good understanding of the different variations of music styles. There are a lot more other ones that you'll hear when you go to the rave. But now you should be able to know that when you hear that music, if you hear that different bass line, you'll be able to say, that's hardstyle music. Also, when you're at the rave, keep your ears open for a brand new style of music. Every once in a while, you come at that right time when you hear a brand new sound that you've never heard before, so look out for that. The second section of this tutorial is to go over appearance and what you should wear at the rave, because that is very important. So the first item I'm going to cover is actually an accessory. They are these guys, bracelets. But not just any bracelet. These guys are called candy, and they're falling everywhere. You'll see a lot of people wearing one to a whole sleeve of bracelets or candy. They're pretty easy to make, but they are very important to wear at the rave. These act kind of like trading cards. When you go to a rave, every time you meet a new person that you think is awesome, that you've talked to and you just met, or it could be a completely random person, what you do is you exchange a candy. Candies are typically bright colored beads, as you can see. Most of them have words or text on them that say different messages. I personally like to use glow-in-the-dark beads. Sorry, when it gets darker and later in the evening, the beads actually glow. So like I said, when you meet someone new at the rave, you exchange bracelets. But you don't simply take it off of your wrist and hand it to them. There's a little ceremony of sorts that you go through to hand a bracelet to them. Sherry, can you please come up here? I'll have you wear this one. So, when you meet someone for the first time, what you do, hi Sherry, I'm Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
What you do is with the hand with the bracelet on, you do something that is simply known as peace, love, and friendship. So the first thing you do is you put two fingers together, and this symbolizes peace. The next one you do is the heart. You make a heart together, and that symbolizes love. And then you put your hands together, and that's called friendship. And what you do is you take the bracelet off. I picked a tight one, of course. And then we exchange bracelets. And just like that. Thank you very much. You can keep that if you like. Your first candy. So this is something that I think really epitomizes what raves are all about. They are about peace, love, and friendship. When you meet friends of all sorts of people of all sorts at raves, and never have I been to a rave where I've seen a fight break out, you meet a rude or nasty person, everybody is very friendly and welcoming. The next item that you'll see at raves is these guys, lights. You can't go to a rave without having a light show. So these are called bumpy rave rings. You may or may not see a lot of these at actual raves. These I use more to represent the lights shows that you'll be getting. Real light shows are actually gloves that people wear on their hands, and every fingertip has its own LED light. Unfortunately, as raves become more and more popular, when people see these light shows, they associate it with a person being high on ecstasy. So a lot of bigger raves now are banning the use of gloved LED lights, but these rings are still acceptable. So when you're at your rave and someone comes up to you and they give you a light show, you will accept, because light shows are really cool. So the last tip I can give is to get creative with your wardrobe. This is one event that if you show up wearing jeans and a t-shirt, you will stand out in the wrong way. So in conclusion, I hope this class has opened your eyes to what raves are all about and the sense of community that they bring. So when you go to your rave for your very first time, I can't wait to hear about your experience, about that moment that you first walk into the event and your whole reality is transformed into a magical fairy tale of good music. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for that little bit of magic, and if our timer will time us 1 minute, please write some comments for Sarah.